Hi, it's me again with Corel tips and tricks. Another macro from our friend Eskimo. And I'm going to show you two different ways you could do this. I took this ellipse and made it into a curve. I went to object and converted it to a curve. And then I'm going to go to Windows, Dockers, and Properties and click on this curve bar. And I've got it to 64.997. That's about as close as you can get it. So we're going to, and both these circles are the same. So you could do this with the blend tool, but this macro, unless it had to be perfect, is going to be a lot faster. So I'm going to go to Effects and Blend. Now we need 65 inches. These are half-inch circles, an inch apart, because our circle is almost 65 inches long. I'm going to grab those two. So you have to have two. We've already got two, so we just want to blend them 63 times, and we're going to hit Apply, and then go down there and hit on New Path, put it on the path, and then blend along full path. And they are, because I measured, let me move this out of the way. If we take our parallel dimension tool, these are going to be a half-inch apart, every one of them. Now, that's mainly because of what I did with making this 65 inches long. With the macro, let me move it over here, closer to the macro. I'm going to make my circles a half-inch, and I want the distance between the circles 1 inch. I just pick on my circle and I hit create circles. Takes just a second. And I did have somebody question me a while back, and I just never made a video on it. It's got part of these lines. Well, if you do the blend tool, you've got to go select it all, go up to object and break the blend apart, and then take that circle out of there. Now, with the macro, it's got these little lines, and I think you've got to go to object and group and ungroup them, and then grab that line and hit delete. Well, maybe you have to move the circles out of the way. There you go. Let me set my nudge factor on like 20 inches, and let me grab my circles and move them out of the way, and see now all my dashed line are gone or by themselves, so I can hit delete. Now, if we measure these, get the parallel dimension tool, and we measure this right here, they're a half an inch apart all the way around. Now, the advantage of the macro, well, it doesn't matter. Now, it won't be exactly, but if you have an ellipse, and let's just see how big it is. Let's go Effects, go to Windows, Dockers, Properties. Now, see, it doesn't show up because I haven't converted to a curve. So take your ellipse and convert it to a curve, then it shows up. And that ellipse is, okay, 8769, okay? Not even a round number. But I'm just gonna have it create circles, a half inch apart, or half-inch circles 1 inch apart. And let's measure them with the parallel dimension tool. They're a half an inch apart. Now, one of them's got to be off somewhere to make the odd amount. And it would, I don't, really know where it is. But they're close enough because the macro did the work for you. Let's just measure a couple down here. I mean, look at that. 0.5, 0.5. Let's go ahead and measure a couple more just to see how it did it. 0.5, 0.5. And see, I didn't have to measure the circle. I didn't have to manipulate the circle. But and I will put this is one of the easiest macros he has. I'll put a link to this. There's probably a lot more you can do with it than I've ever done. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.